Only 2 doubleheader race weekends remain this season, but the 2015 Indy Lights Championship battle is far from over. While teammate Max Chilton took the victory, Englishman Ed Jones got right back in the championship hunt with a second-place finish at Iowa Speedway.
Those Carlin cars, like they're shot out of a cannon. Chilton and Jones.
Jones now joins veteran Jack Harvey and 4-time race winner Spencer Pigot in the battle for the Indy Lights title. The series now heads to the historic turns of Mid-Ohio, where Harvey hopes to duplicate his 2014 performance and win both races.
And Jack Harvey sees the Twin Checkers wave the second straight day.
Harvey, Pigot, Jones, who will make the next move? Indy Lights from Mid-Ohio is next. It's one of the classic road racing venues in the United States. The name references sports cars, but it's long been a destination and a favorite for open-wheel cars and drivers as well. Welcome to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Central Ohio, right between Columbus and Cleveland, for Indy Lights, presented by Cooper Tires on NBCSN. I'm Kevin Lee, along with former Indy Lights driver Anders Krohn. Well, we're down to three races, 3 drivers separated by 19 points in the championship. Jack Harvey, Spencer Pigot, Ed Jones. Who has the advantage?
Who has the advantage is Jack Harvey, but mentally, I'm not quite sure. These guys have been battling so hard all year long, and really, it's going to come down to who's strongest up in the head.
Well, this is the second race of the weekend. Yesterday, we had race number 1, and some of the championship leaders didn't have the best starting positions. It was 18-year-old R.C. Enerson on the pole. That's Harvey starting second, and then Pigot in third. Jones is all the way back in 10th. Enerson gets off to a nice start in this race, but look here, Harvey and Pigot. That's Harvey in the Lucas Oil car, Pigot on the left side there in the Soul Red Mazda car. Both go off. Harvey hard into the tire barrier. He has to go into pit. So did Pigot. That ruined their opportunity to get a good result in this race, and ultimately means we're about where we started the weekend as far as the championship is concerned, so it gave others an opportunity. There's Ed Jones, the third championship contender, trying to get by Juan Piedrahita for 5th position. He makes contact. He feared he had a cut tire, so he comes into the pits as well. That ruins his race. He finishes back in the pack as well. But up front, it was no problem for the 18-year-old from Florida. R.C. Enerson has had a magical season. He's jumped from USF 2000 up to Indy Lights, and he gets his first win in Indy Lights in dominant fashion. And the podium shaken up a little bit. Max Chilton, off his win 2 weeks ago, comes with second. Shelby Blackstock's best finish of the season. He comes home in third. So what about the championship? What about today? Well, Jack Harvey did have the fastest lap. He starts on the pole, and he's with Katie Hargan.
Jack Harvey is the current points leader for the Indy Lights Series, in kind of a rough race yesterday, but then you came in to put on new tires to set that fast lap to get the pole today. How crucial is that in your race today?
Well, I actually didn't put on new tires yesterday. The pace I had in that race was on old ones, so I feel like we're in a good position today, actually starting on new tires where the guys around us actually used theirs in the race. So feeling like we're in a good position today tire-wise. The car was obviously really fast yesterday. I felt like I was driving well. Mid-Ohio is a circuit that I've gone well at previously, so hoping to make it 3 wins out of 4 and trying to extend the championship lead, which is the big goal before Laguna Seca.
And the really big news this weekend is that you have an IndyCar test for Schmidt-Peterson later this season. How big is that for your future?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, firstly, I've got to thank Rick and Sam in particular, my sponsors, the Racing Steps Foundation. Everyone helps to help make that happen. We haven't got quite all the details finalized yet, apart from that I know I'll be in the car for at least part of the day. So yeah, otherwise just really looking forward to it. I've been working for that since I was 9 years old in go-karts, so what it'll mean to the future is I don't know. I just got to try and do a good job in the test and then hopefully see where it goes from there.
And Kevin, Jack Harvey is proof that the Mazda Road to Indy is working.
And he gets the opportunity to start up front today, Anders, after not getting the chance yesterday. Remember, he swept both races last year. He's going to be itching for this opportunity.
Yeah, well, we've seen this all year long. Jack Harvey has a bad result, but so does his competitors, Spencer Pigot and Ed Jones. So they seem to be falling back whenever he falls back, so they haven't had a chance to really pounce when he's down yet. So that's what they're going to be looking at, but Jack Harvey just needs a clean run today.
So we've talked about those top three. They've been fighting for the championship for the last couple of months, but look at R.C. Enerson. He is solidly in the 4th position, and he could climb. We're about ready to go. Let's go trackside to get things started.
At All of Sports, here are the Cooper Tire Girls to give the command.
On behalf of everyone at Cooper Tires, drivers, start your Mazda engines.
The command is fired. There's the championship leader, 16 points in front of Spencer Pigot as we begin things on board with last year's champion in Pro Mazda, Spencer Pigot. He's got some work to do today. We'll see the starting lineup coming up in just a moment, but he's, as you can tell from the onboard, a little further back in 7th position. Ed Jones, though, has a nice look. He's up front. How will he and Harvey do? The start of this race is going to be critical. We'll get going from Mid-Ohio in just a moment. Stay with us. Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires on NBCSN. Welcome back to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course on NBCSN. Along with Katie Hargan and Anders Krohn, I'm Kevin Lee. 3 to go this season in Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. Here's how they will start off in race number 2 of the weekend. The championship leader, Jack Harvey. Ed Jones, only 19 back, starts in 2nd. Felix Sorrells is a race winner. So is Sean Rahal. Good to see him back with 8-Star Motorsports after winning on the road course at Indianapolis. Max Chilton, who won at Iowa 2 weeks ago in an oval. The former Formula One driver finished 2nd yesterday. And R.C. Enerson off his first win of the season. Spencer Pigot has some work to do. 2nd in the championship, 16 back. And Scott Anderson is one of many with a lot of experience here throughout the entire Mazda Road to Indy. Kyle Kaiser and Shelby Blackstock off of his first podium in Indy Lights yesterday. And then Juan Piedrahita and Ethan Ringel in road number 6. 12 cars here today. They'll get lined up 2 by 2. Coming up in just a moment. It could not be any better here on the first day of August for this event. 78 degrees, not much wind. Great crowd on hand all weekend for all 3 levels of the Mazda Road to Indy and the Verizon IndyCar Series. That's Jones, 3rd in the championship in the blue number 11 car. The Lucas Oil, red, white, and blue, is Jack Harvey. He's on the pole. Pigot is further back in the sole red number 12 car. They start on the back stretch, and look at Jones get the early jump. Ed Jones, as we go flying in Mid-Ohio, has the lead as they come through turn number 3. Harvey is tucked up behind. That's Rahal in the orange car, dicey for position. Now Harvey comes back around the outside of turn number 4. Not going to get him this time. Sorrells has moved into 3rd. Rahal in 4th. Chilton slips back to the 5th position.
Have a look at this. Ed Jones completely jumped the start there. Let's see if the race stewards choose to do anything with that. He clearly jumped the start there and had 2-3 car lengths advantage across the start-finish line there. Oh, look at this. Shelby Blackstock wanting to get back to where he was yesterday on that podium, fighting there with Ethan Ringel. But man, what a start. And Jack Harvey now is just going to fight so hard to try and regain this position.
Blackstock got a good starting position yesterday. 5th, got to 3rd in the first lap and stayed there. Out front, 2 of the 3 championship contenders. Jones leading the way for Jack Harvey as we finish lap number 1. On board now with Spencer Pigot. He's in the 7th position.
And if you want to tell just how competitive this series is right now, the guy in front of Spencer Pigot right now is R.C. Enerson. And look at this now. Spencer going to try around the outside into turn 2. Is it going to stick? Now he's going to try the high-low here. Go to the inside and get on power early. Now he needs to be on that Mazda push-to-pass button. Not quite close enough this time by.
We talked about Harvey after the issues yesterday, what he's thinking. What about Pigot? At least Harvey had a good starting position.
Yeah, exactly. Spencer Pigot needs to gain some position here because Jack Harvey and Ed Jones are up front and they're going to score big point for the championship.
Speaking of Jack Harvey, Katie has more on pit lane.
If you remember last year, Jack Harvey swept the weekend, meaning he got the pole and the win in both races in 2014. Now over the radio here this weekend, his team is saying, Jack, keep your head down. We've got to do what we did yesterday, which is come back up through the field.
He's riding in 2nd position right now. No pit stops in these races, so it's not going to be strategy. It's not going to be cycling through or when the yellow comes out. It's all about making overtaking moves on the racetrack as we ride again with Piggott running in 7th position.
And just look at this, 38 laps of racing we have in this race, and it's so physically demanding. Just look at these corners, just how fast and sweeping they are, so the drivers have to be inch perfect. Look at this, R.C. Anderson, he's going to try it around the outside of Max Chilton into turn 2. Can't do that, but he can get a good run off this corner.
Chilton running in 5th position after a runner-up yesterday. That's Chilton in the blue number 14 car for Carlin Racing. Here is Harvey being challenged by Sorales for 2nd place. And they're not far behind the leader, Jones, and Sorales goes off. Sorales off, and another car that in the back that rolls through the grass.
That was R.C. Anderson off the track there. Look, oh, Felix Sorales has fallen all the way back. He had some contact with Jack Harvey, and the big question now is, does Jack Harvey have damage to his car?
Massive action here in Mid-Ohio, a place that some say is a bit processional. Not so far here today.
I feel like this season, Kevin, we always talk about how hard it is to pass at these road courses, but we've seen classic race after classic race, and it just shows how competitive Indy Lights is at the moment. The race winner from yesterday's race is currently all the way back in 7th, or 8th place rather.
Let's go back and ride on board with Spencer Piggott and look at what we just saw a moment ago. And then contact there with Enerson going off.
And that was just Max Chilton running a little bit wide on the inside there. Couldn't quite hold the inside, so let's have another look here at what happened. Here's Jack Harvey on the inside. Felix Sorales trying to go around the outside, and I think they might make slight contact. There's a little bit of tire smoke there.
Harvey got on the curves a little bit, and that upset the car and might have bounced him over. Let's see, yeah, I think he made left front to right front contact there after he got in the curves, and that bounced him.
And Felix Sorales not only lucky not to spin the car, but not to T-bone Sean Rahal. Wow, look at this now. Spencer Piggott is capitalizing on all this. He's right on the tail of Max Chilton.
Chilton running in 4th position, Piggott right behind him, then it's Piedrahita. We ride with Piggott, 2nd in the championship. 12 points back as we make that 24 back as we run, and Jones would be 12 back of Harvey at the moment. That's Jones leading the race, Harvey leading the championship, 2nd in the race.
And I think what you're going to see here is Jack Harvey probably has the slightly quicker car. Last year here, he was dominant. He came through to win his first 2 races in the season and almost won the championship. This year, he's smarter. He's come back with Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports. He's better in that Dallara IL-15 car than he's ever been before, and he is challenging right now. But right on his tail is a guy that's not in the championship. That's Sean Rahal. He's got nothing to lose whatsoever.
2 different races in this one right now. The front 3 together, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and another went off. That's Blackstock that got in the grass.
Blackstock went airborne there, coming off that turn 2, just went over into the grass and went airborne. And look at this now. R.C. Anderson, is he going to go around the outside of... Oh, he is going to go around the outside of Scott Anderson. Wow.
Anderson almost goes around, but he hangs on to it. So Sorales, who went off a little while ago, is going to try to take the opportunity to pounce. He's side by side with Anderson. You're not supposed to be able to do that here through the corners.
Through turn 7 and 8, you never see that. Look at now, Kyle Kaiser. Oh, there's contact.
Kaiser around, Anderson around. Kaiser will keep going in the 18 car for Juncos. Anderson is stalled for the moment. Right now, it's a local yellow.
But there's a lot of damage here to Kyle Kaiser's car. I could see the front toe link was completely bent there. It doesn't look like Anderson has as much damage, but he's definitely stalled the car. Let's see if he can get going here. Oh, we have a full course caution.
Scott Anderson finished 7th in the race yesterday. He's been on the podium this year at the Freedom 100 on the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So it is a full course caution. Let's take one more look.
Yeah, it's tough to see from that camera angle there, but Kyle Kaiser just dove in so deep, and he actually gets airborne there. That's why his right front, suspension is all sorts of bent up, so he's going to have to pit here with damage to his car.
So they'll change the nose cone, and they'll assess to see if there's any suspension damage as well. Under caution, Ed Jones leads Jack Harvey. The championship might be shaken up as we go to the finale. Stay with us on NBCSN. We're under caution at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires on NBCSN with Anders Crone and Katie Hargett. I'm Kevin Lee. Scott Anderson did get going and did stay on the lead lap and didn't need to pit. Kaiser in the pits. We're getting ready to restart with Ed Jones leading Jack Harvey. Harvey started on the pole. Jones got him at the jump. They will restart on the main straightaway, and we're on again in Mid-Ohio. And Jones, it's a good jump. About 2 car lengths in front of Harvey with Sean Rahal running in third.
Yeah, Harvey there did not get the line that he wanted out of turn 12 and did not get a good run. Sean Rahal, however, did get a cracking restart as they're now into turn 2, and now is when Jack Harvey needs to pounce if he is to do anything. It's incredibly tough to pass at this track, and now is his chance. He's got to be on that push to pass button right now.
Long run down to turn number 4. That little kink is turn 3. That's where we started the race, but we'll finish it on the main straightaway. Harvey takes a peek going into 4, not close enough this time.
And what Jack Harvey was doing there was just playing a little bit of a mental game right there, showing himself like, hey, I've got you, I've got you.
On the contact with Kaiser and Anderson, there will be no penalty on Kyle Kaiser. He is essentially serving a penalty with the damage to himself. He's now 2 laps down.
As they make their way through the S's here, now up into turn 11, super fast corner here as they come through. And now is Jack Harvey's opportunity here in turn 12 to just run a little bit wide, get a little bit of clean air on his wings. He's not going to do that, which means he is not going to have the run that he wants onto that front straightaway.
I mentioned that he was using sticker Cooper tires in this race, and we think the others are on used. Jones is one of those that took new tires to get that second fastest lap overall to start second, so Harvey might have the advantage over the life of the race. Look at Rahal, though, closing in, though. Not far behind now in third.
We've been talking about this earlier in the season. Whenever Rahal has been in the Indy Lights field, he has been on fire. He won a race at the IMS Road Course in very impressive fashion, and now he's on track to score yet another podium. And let's keep in mind, he's only done a handful of races.
5th yesterday after starting 12. Katie has more on Sean Rahal.
Sean Rahal has been doing absolutely everything he can just to be at a racetrack. He's been racing in the Tudor Series in sports cars, then started coaching those sports cars because he didn't have a ride. Then for the Freedom 100, he did an Indiegogo campaign just so he could get back on track with Indy Lights. This weekend, they only have about 4 or 5 guys on that team. Even the team manager can be seen changing tires or working on the car. Sean himself changes gears on that car just so they can be out on track here in Mid-Ohio.
And Katie mentioned a test for Jack Harvey in an Indy car coming up when they talked before the race. As we watch the 2 leaders right now with Jones and Harvey following him, Sean Rahal is going to get to drive a Penske Indy car at Sonoma here in about a week and a half.
Talk about a dream come true, Kevin. I mean, here you are scrambling to get your ass in an Indy Lights car, and here you are with a Verizon IndyCar Series shot with arguably the best team in history.
Nelson Piquet Jr., who we saw at Toronto, will also test for Penske. The incentive, and it's a great incentive and good thinking by IndyCar and Indy Lights. There are test days available, and if you put an Indy Lights driver in the car, you get the same amount of laps with one of your IndyCar drivers as well. Everybody wants to test in Sonoma heading up to the finale, so Penske will get to take one of their drivers there with the 2 Indy Lights drivers. Ed Jones is going to test with Rahal, Letterman, Landon Racing. Harvey with Schmidt-Peterson. Also, Matthew Brabham will get his second IndyCar test for Andretti. He was at Iowa just a few weeks ago.
It's just so exciting to see this Mazda Road to Indy ladder work year in, year out. And I was actually talking to John Doonan, the head of motorsports for Mazda, the other day, and he mentioned to me a fact that I already knew but kind of didn't really think about, and that is that 23 of 33 Indy 500 starters last year had been a part of the Mazda Road to Indy. So it is a true testament just to how well this ladder system works, and now they're getting chances to drive in the actual Verizon IndyCar Series cars.
Top 3, a little bit in front of the next group, and that's Max Chilton, the 14 blue car for Carlin, running in 4th. And then right behind him, we're on board now with Spencer Pigot. He is 5th in the race. As they run with points, he has slid back to 3rd. He came in 2nd. With Jones leading the race, Jones would leapfrog him into 2nd, but much more still to come. There's the points as they run with Harvey up front for the moment, but this race is far from over.
Far from over indeed. We're only 11 laps out of 38 through this thing, and the tires tend to fall off quite a bit in the final 10 laps here, so I think if I'm Jack Harvey right now, I'm going to preserve my tires. I want to put a little bit of pressure here on Ed Jones, but I don't want to destroy my tires either.
Ed Jones has an opportunity to win for the first time since April. When this season started, as Harvey starts to take a little bit of peak, he might be able to have something for him by the time we get to turn number 4. Jones won the first 3 races of the season, none since.
He did, and he was so strong. He came out of the box with Carlin Racing, and everyone thought, wow, this could be the tail of the season. This could be just a dominant season, but all the other teams and all the other drivers turned around and came back so strong, and Jack Harvey has been just a model of consistency all year long.
How big is that keyhole? Turn 2 there. How important is that to get the run here leading up to the best passing area?
Absolutely vital to get a good run off the keyhole, turn 2, and Jack Harvey got a good run. Now Ed Jones is having a block. Can Jack Harvey do anything? Oh, there's contact!
Tire smoke. Is it a cut tire? Is there any damage? We'll keep an eye on Jack Harvey, the championship leader, and if he slides back, that 13-point lead will go away.
It looked like there was slight contact there, but it wasn't very big. Let's see. Yep, there's a little bit of damage to Jack Harvey's nose right there. Let's have a look at this again as Jack Harvey just pops out for a move, then realizes, oh, I can't do it, and Ed Jones closes the door a little bit. Oh, these two are lucky boys right now for not spinning out.
Is Jones coming over there to block, or is that his normal line to set up for the next corner?
Well, if it's a block, it's a very, very minute block because he only moved about a third of a car width. So I guess if you have to follow the rule book black and white, then yes, it was a slight move, but he didn't completely chop him off. So the race stewards are going to have a field day with that one.
Well, great news that it looks like Harvey's okay, and he's still going to be able to challenge Jones. The front 3 still running together. Ed Jones, Jack Harvey, Sean Rahal, leading here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. It's Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. Look at the crowd watching exciting open wheel racing. Back at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. 38 laps will decide this one today. We're getting close to the midway point, and the action has been fast and furious. Yes, Ed Jones has led from the start, but so much has happened. Jack Harvey is still right behind him. He's the championship leader, just 13 up on Jones. And then Sean Rahal is running in 3rd. Just a little while ago, we saw Harvey battle for the lead. After turn 3, going into turn number 4, I asked the question, is this a block or the racing line? Race Control has offered an opinion.
Yeah, they gave him a warning for doing that block right there, and it's a small block, but it's a block nonetheless, and certainly it looked like Jack Harvey had the run there and was going to be able to make that pass. But as I'm looking at these 2 leaders right now, I'm just thinking, these are the top 2 guys in the championship right now. One of these guys is going to have the opportunity to race in the Indy 500 next year, thanks to Mazda and Cooper Tires and all the other partners of the Mazda Road to Indy. So I'm looking at this and thinking, imagine the pressure of knowing that you could be the next guy as a rookie at the Indy 500.
And for Jack Harvey, who lost on a tiebreaker last year, he tied for the championship with Gabby Chavez and lost on the 2nd tiebreaker. Number of 2nd place finishes. He doesn't want to take any chances. He wants to make sure it's a comfortable lead, or as much as possible, heading into the finale doubleheader at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, September 12th and 13th. I'm Kevin Lee, along with Anders Krohn. Katie Hargett is on pit lane, and joining us in the booth is Dan Anderson. He is the owner and CEO of Anderson Promotions and the operator of the Mazda Road to Indy, all 3 levels, USF 2000 and Pro Mazda included. Dan, on behalf of everyone that enjoys these races, thank you for making them so entertaining. This has been a fantastic season.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's always fun watching these kids. They have a lot of energy and a lot of passion, and they put on some good shows. And this is, I commented in Race Control that I think these drivers all had their Wheaties this morning because they're all full of energy today.
We'll talk more with Dan, who's joining us in the booth, and also one of the key people involved with the Mazda Road to Indy is with Katie down on pit lane.
Yeah, John Doonan with Mazda Motorsports. And John, you guys have a pretty big announcement this weekend, champions from around the world. Tell us exactly what this is and what the purpose of it is.
Well, this weekend's announcement really opens up the top of the funnel for the talent search that is the Mazda Road to Indy. We have 11 series globally so far that have committed to be part of a shootout in 2016 for a $200,000 scholarship from Mazda to enter the Mazda Road to Indy. And for us, it's been a talent search. For us, it's been about retaining that talent, growing them into the Verizon IndyCar Series. And at Mazda, driving matters. And in these series with spec cars, it's all about the driver. And we hope to someday have the champions of the Verizon IndyCar Series come from the Mazda Road to Indy.
There's 13 countries represented in the Mazda Road to Indy here this weekend. Why is it important for you guys to have that global exposure?
The Mazda brand is a global brand, and we've obviously seen people around the world view this structure, as Dan just said, as the only formalized driver development program of its kind, a scholarship program in the world. So Mazda's proud to be part of it. All the cars are powered by Mazda and run on Cooper tires. So we're thrilled with what we've done so far, but the future is very bright, and we're looking to grow it.
All right, thanks, Sean. Kevin, Anders?
John Doonan has been a great fan and friend to racing, and specifically to the Mazda Road to Indy, Dan. We're not doing this without people like John and Mazda.
They've been such long-time supporters of the development series for many years now, even going back to the Atlantic days. But Mazda has an interest in this. Their demographic is young drivers in their street cars, and they're showing what they care about. And they care about racing. They care about young driver development. We are so proud that they're part of it. And Cooper Tires as well. Terrific partner on all three levels. Provide a lot of support for these kids to do what they want to do.
Ed Jones still maintaining his slight advantage, about a car length normally, on Jack Harvey. Last time by, it was under a half a second. They've spread out a little bit from Sean Rahal, who is nearly 2 seconds back in third. Max Chilton, the winner at Iowa a couple of weeks ago, second yesterday, is running fourth. Spencer Pigot, one of the 3 championship contenders, is in 5th position. Dan Anders and I were talking about how exciting and entertaining the racing has been, and a lot of it obviously has to do with the quality and depth of the teams and drivers. How much has to do with this new IL-15 car, which, by the way, I think we saw for the first time about a year ago here at this racetrack when it was officially tested.
We did a prototype test here the day after the IndyCar race last August, and I think the car is a key part of it with the push-to-pass that we have. I mean, yesterday's race was interesting because a couple of people had incidents, and they took the rest of yesterday's race to develop a qualifying setup, and that's why Harvey and Jones were on the front row today. They dropped in, put tires on, used their push-to-pass, and basically obliterated the track record.
R.C. Enerson we see running in 7th as Harvey takes a peek, and they might come together again. Harvey as Jones goes around, and Harvey is into the kitty litter. Sean Rahal takes the lead. The 2 leaders of the race come together. They're 2 of the 3 championship contenders, and Spencer Pigot has the opportunity to score massive points now.
Can you believe it, Kevin? The 2 top guys in the championship are out. Ed Jones is stopped on the track. Jack Harvey came from miles back, tried to make that move, stick into turn 4 to surprise Ed Jones, but it did not work out at all. These guys are not going to be liking each other very much right now. Look at that big front wing damage to Jack Harvey. He's going to have to come into the pits, and he's going to be lucky not to go a lap down here.
He's fallen back to 8th position. We are under a local yellow for the moment, so no full course caution for the moment. As I mentioned, Sean Rahal was there to take the advantage. Max Chilton is 2nd. Spencer Pigot is 3rd. So just like that, the championship points as they run are going to massively change here. Harvey maintains the lead, but it would be only 7 on Spencer Pigot, and Jones falls back to 20th, and with that wounded front wing, Harvey is struggling to keep it on the track, and there's Jones coming back by him.
Kevin, just when we think we've seen it all this season, we haven't, and we keep getting re-educated on what the definition of drama is. Cannot believe what we're seeing here right now.
Well, Jones, I'm not sure if he has any damage. It looks like he has pretty good pace, but clearly Harvey does. Let's find out more on pit lane with Katie Hargan.
Sam Schmidt is the owner of Jack Harvey's car. Sam, what were you thinking when Ed and Jack got together there?
Still a little frustrated going back to the start because I think Ed Jones clearly jumped it, and that's kind of got the whole thing frustrated from the beginning. So, and then blocked again after that. I don't know. He's a little frustrating, but you know, really want to win this championship, and I think things are boiling up. Done a good job this whole year, and hopefully we can, you know, take it to Laguna.
Second season with Jack Harvey. He almost won the championship last year, as you mentioned, now leading the championship, and you're taking him to an IndyCar test in Sonoma a couple of weeks. What does this kid mean to your team?
Oh, a whole lot. I mean, he's clearly got the talent to compete at the top level, and hopefully we win the championship, get the scholarship, and move them up.
All right, thanks, Sam.
There have been some rumors that Sam might field an extra Indy car for the finale at Sonoma as well. Is that going to be Harvey? Is it going to be someone like Connor Daly? There are a lot of candidates for there. All right, as Harvey continues to limp around, as we saw Pedro, by the way, he was the one in the red car that went around, and there's the leader, Sean Rahal, out in front. Harvey and Jones involved in that contact, and race control has made a decision.
So right now we have Jack Harvey. Look at that late move, but Jones then goes in for the block, gives Jack Harvey no room whatsoever, and for that Ed Jones is going to get a drive-through penalty. So this race is not over whatsoever, but Jack Harvey will probably have to pit here fairly shortly. We're going to see Juan Pedro just loop it here in turn 9, and hard contact there with the barrier.
Well, we have not lacked for action in this one here. Pedro in to deal with the damage, and it looks like he's unstrapping and he's going to climb out. And the benefactor of all this, really there are two. Spencer Pigot, who was mired back in 7th position, now running in 3rd. Jones is now coming through to serve his drive-through penalty, but the biggest benefactor, Sean Rahal, a part-time driver this year, has an opportunity to win for the 2nd time this season. We'll see if he can finish it off. There's still 15 laps to go. Stay with us from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course on NBCSN. It's been a perfect weekend at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course between Columbus and Cleveland in Central Ohio. All 3 levels of the Mazda Road to Indy and the Verizon IndyCar Series here. And Sean Rahal leads in the 2nd of 2 Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires events this weekend. He was running in 3rd, took over the lead when the 2 leaders came together. Jack Harvey was trying to pass Ed Jones for the 2nd time in the same corner. For the 2nd time, Jones came down. He got warned the 1st time, and Anders this time, he got penalized. So Ed Jones runs back in 9th position, and Jack Harvey is in 8th position, while Max Chilton runs in 2nd, and Spencer Pigot there in the Soul Red number 12 car runs in 3rd, and there's R.C. Enerson up to 4th, yesterday's winner in race number 1.
And here we're on board with Spencer Pigot now in turn 2. He's looking to get a good run. I think right now he's going to be pretty satisfied we're running in 3rd right now. He's going to pick up big points here on our points leader, Jack Harvey. We're going to go for a little lap here now into that turn 4 braking zone. This is the best passing spot. This is where we saw that accident between Jack Harvey and Ed Jones. Now swing it back into turn 5 and over that crest called Madness, and then bring it back to the left-hand side for turn 6. Very important to keep it nice and tidy here to make it through this infield section right here. 7 and 8, and then a really fast right-hander. Turn 9, use all that curbing. Oh, Spencer just missed it by a tad over yet another crest, and now into one of the fastest corners on the track here. Turn 11, flick it into the corner, and then he goes through, and now into turn 12. So important to get a good run off, and let's see, does he get the traction? 450 horsepower, that Mazda turbocharged engine just firing there as he's now headed towards turn 1 and almost flat out. Listen, just a small lift and then back on power and then up that hill towards turn 2 again. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course is one of the all-time great tracks in North America, and the drivers absolutely love it, and that was an amazing track lap with Spencer Pigot.
And they've been racing here for 50 years. Everyone has been here. Everyone on the NBC announce team that has driven has raced here, and they've had a lot of success as we watch Harvey in his wounded car with Jones, and this position matters. They're on the same lap. This is a battle for position. Jones running in 9th. Harvey is running in 8th, but Harvey's got that wounded car. Jones, remember, had to serve the drive-through. That's why he's playing catch-up, and this is going to be easy pickings for Ed Jones, but Harvey's probably not going to make it very easy.
Harvey is not going to make it easy. Look at this. He's going to try and hold him off here. Jack Harvey has a wounded car with that front wing just dangling by a thread right there, but he is not going to make this easy for Ed Jones. This is vital championship points, and Jack Harvey will not let this go. He's going to block to the inside. Ed Jones is going to try go around the outside of turn 4. Can't get that jump done. If I were Ed Jones right now, I would be incredibly careful.
Yes. It's going to be interesting interesting to watch Jack Harvey get out of the car.
I think you're going to see one very animated Brit. He's usually cool as a cucumber, but today I don't think that's going to be the case for Jack Harvey as he goes through turn 9 there. Big understeer in that car, and look who's going to capitalize on this. Scott Anderson is catching up to the two of them. So he was out of the race earlier, came back on track, and is now going to challenge the top 2 guys in the championship. So boy, how this Indy Light season just keeps changing.
They are still on the lead lap, but they're 45 seconds behind the leader, Sean Rahal. It's a battle for 8th position, and there's some 17 seconds behind Ethan Ringel, who is running in 7th position. So there are going to be no more opportunities to gain positions as Jones will take a look. Anderson is there to pounce. He'll go to the inside, and they're 3 wide with Harvey, the championship leader, in the middle, and he'll wisely back out a little bit and give up the spot to Anderson, but he's not going to concede to Ed Jones.
That was a great move for Scott Anderson. While these two are going to keep fighting it out, and Ed Jones again here going to look to the outside of turn 4. This time he does get it done, and unfortunately I don't think there's anything Jack Harvey can do right now. I'm surprised that front wing is still hanging on there, and you can see he tried to drive it deep into turn 5, but now Ed Jones is just going to leave him, and that is just putting salt in the wound for Jack Harvey, who did not deserve that, and right now is just driving that wounded car. Look at that front wing. Wow.
He's just been hanging on, so that's another change in the points. Harvey's lead is down to 5 now. Real quick, want to mention the championship with Dan Anderson coming up. It's a Mazda Road to Indy weekend at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, September 12th and 13th.
That's correct. It'll be a great finale. These guys in all 3 levels will be fighting for the scholarships, and looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Can't wait to see that. Dan Anderson, the owner and CEO of the Mazda Road to Indy. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us. Can Sean Rahal finish it up from Mid-Ohio? This is NBCSN. Heading to the stretch of Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Sean Rahal, 8-star Motorsports, part-time performer this year, big-time performer, looking to win for the 2nd time in his first season in Indy Lights. He's just 20 years old from Georgia. Sean Rahal has impressed. He leads by 2 seconds on Max Chilton. Spencer Pigot is running in 3rd. Then it's R.C. Enerson and Felix Sorrellis.
Yeah, and Kevin, if you want to know who the next Ryan Hunter-Ray, Marco Andretti, or Graham Rahal are going to be, as we're going to see a little replay here with Sean Rahal. He's going to have a slight moment over that turn. I just missed the apex, and wow, he got so wide there through turn 9. Good save for him. But if you're looking to find that next superstar in the Verizon IndyCar Series, like a Ryan Hunter-Ray or Marco Andretti or Graham Rahal, look at Sean Rahal, look at Spencer Pigot, look at R.C. Enerson. All these superstars are in the making, and mark my words, they will be in the Verizon IndyCar Series, and they will be winning races and championships before you know it.
All 21 and younger. Enerson is just 18 years old and won yesterday. It's time to award the Cooper Tires Everyday Performer, and the committee of 2 has voted for Sean Rahal, who was at the right place at the right time. He was running in 3rd position within striking distance when the 2 leaders, Ed Jones and Jack Harvey, came together.
Yeah, he is absolutely our everyday performer, just for keeping it clean and keeping the pressure on those 2. He was always right on their gearbox, just sniffing around, seeing if he could do anything, and then he struck right as they were coming together. So great moment there for Sean Rahal, and he's just kept it so clean all race long. But also, shout out here to Max Chilton, who's just been building so much momentum. He got that win at Iowa Speedway, and after that, it almost looks like a big weight has been lifted off his shoulders. He did great in the race yesterday, and he's doing great yet again today, and he truly has some momentum on his side, and I would be surprised not to see him compete in the Verizon IndyCar Series next year.
This is just the 7th race for Sean Rahal. He's got a win at Indianapolis on the road course, finished 2nd in the other event there. 5th yesterday in race 1, and on the way to win number 2. And Max Chilton, as you mentioned, has come on strong here of late. His story 2 weeks ago at Iowa, he was dealing with a very heavy heart after his former Formula 1 teammate, Jules Bianchi, succumbed to his injuries and passed away. He dedicated the win from pole to his friend and former teammate, and has backed it up with another strong performance. It looks like double podiums, second place finishes in both races are available for Max Chilton. Here they come around turn 13, back on the main straightaway, and Sean Rahal will see the white flag one more time around this 13-turn, just over 2.25-mile racetrack.
And right now, he's just got to keep it clean. He just checked this mirror there, leaving turn 1, just to make sure Max Chilton doesn't have position on him for down the back straight here. And right now, Max Chilton needs to just keep it clean as well. It does not look like he's going to be close enough. It's going to be very tough for Max Chilton to do anything with Sean Rahal in the infield. So this is going to be his last shot into, oh, look at that big lockup for Jack Harvey, who's almost getting lapped.
And Harvey runs in 10th position, so there's how the points run and how we're likely to finish. Piggott, who was mired back in 7th position, is going to jump back up easily within striking distance with 2 races remaining at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca coming up in about 6 weeks. And Jones falls back to 17 back. He was in position to win the race and get within 13 points of the lead before he and Harvey had their issues, and Jones was penalized for that contact. Sean Rahal has been the benefactor here today. He's had a fantastic season in all forms of motorsports, and he's a 2-time winner now in Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. Sean Rahal at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course has won for 8 Star Motorsports.
Massive amount of respect to him and 8 Star Motorsports, a tiny, tiny team defeating the mass of the bigger teams. And look at this, he is elated with this win. He's a homeboy from the United States of America, racing in the middle of the country, and now just enjoying having won for his 2nd time in Indy Lights.
Base Egg, the sponsor, portable speakers, they have helped him get here again. Jack Harvey is going to limp home in 10th position. Ed Jones 1 spot in front of him. But Rahal is the story of the day today. The young man from Georgia has made his mark in limited opportunities this season in Indy Lights. We'll talk to the winner coming up in just a moment. Sean Rahal wins in Indy Lights at Mid-Ohio. Race 2 of the weekend is complete for Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires at Mid-Ohio. After R.C. Enerson won yesterday, another young American wins. Race number 2, it's Sean Rahal from Georgia taking his 2nd win of the season. Max Chilton finishes on the podium for the 5th time this season, and Spencer Piggott on the podium for the 8th time in this championship. Let's go now to Victory Lane and Katie Hargan.
In just 7 starts in the Indy Lights Series, Sean Rahal gets his 2nd win of the season. Sean, how were you able to adapt to the Indy Lights so quick in just 7 races?
I mean, that's easy when you have a great team like 8 Star Motorsports. You know, they give you all the tools, and then it's up to me. I couldn't ask for a better team. They worked really hard all weekend. I put the car off qualifying, put us behind the 8 ball, and you know, those guys worked hard, and we got the base egg car back up front. But just so thankful for these guys.
Speaking of moves that were up to you, you attacked right when Jack and Ed took each other out of that race. What were you thinking when they went off course?
I knew they were going to get feisty, and I just wanted to save my tires and wait for that chance, and that's what we did, and we had a good enough car to keep it up there.
Sean attacked right when he needed to, getting his 2nd win this season. Kevin?
Yeah, that's smart. You watched that before. You had to know that they were going to mix it up again as we look at Jack Harvey after he climbs out of the car after a very disappointing weekend. Contact in both races, and his championship lead has slipped to just 5 now on Spencer Piggott with a doubleheader coming up at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
And once again, it's going to come down to the final race of the season. It couldn't be any closer than it is right now, and I think Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca will be an absolute classic.
And Ed Jones is still there in the mix, and look at R.C. Enerson up to 4th position. Very frustrating day for Jack Harvey, who has to suffer through a 10th place result today, and that's after he finished 11th yesterday in race number 1. But he's still got a 5-point advantage, and he's got a test in an Indy car at Sonoma coming up in a couple of weeks, along with 5 other Indy Lights drivers in Indy cars. And the winner, Sean Rahal, gets to celebrate testing a Penske Indy car. How about that, and the relationship between IndyCar and Indy Lights. Well, it's been a fantastic weekend here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and we are down to 2 to determine the 2015 champion. Stay tuned. The Barclays Premier League season preview is coming up next on NBCSN. The Indy Lights series concludes with our season championship for Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. The races September 12th and 13th. It airs Thursday, September 24th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. For more on IndyCar, go to NBCSports.com. For Anders Krohn and Katie Hargan, I'm Kevin Lee. Congratulations to Sean Rahal.